If you have run out of yarn and you need to add in a new skein, it's easy to do, and if you don't want to work in the end as you're working right away and you just want to wait to weave it in until later, you can do that. So here I have a piece left at the end of my yarn. I prefer not to add in new yarn with slip stitches as I'm getting to my corner or chaining. So I'm going to go ahead and do my chain, and then I'm going to add in the new yarn when I'm getting ready to do the double crochet. And I'm going to use this tan color just so you can see what's happening here. If it's the same color, you're not going to notice it. Alright, so yarn over first, and I hold both together, yarn over, and pull a loop back, and that's the tail of my old yarn and the working yarn. Now I'm going to drop the tail and yarn over and do the first part of the double crochet, yarn over, do the second part of the double crochet, and then finish your corner working over that tail. Once you have your corner finished, you can weave your end in right then, or you can wait until you get more of your granny square worked. But now you just want to leave it hanging out of the way. So if I do a little bit more of this here, and then chain one and pull a big loop. Now I can take my hook out and not unravel my work. To weave in these ends, then you simply flip it over. If you have not a clear right or wrong side, in other words, here's the front of my granny square and I'm always working this way, so this is going to be the front and this is the back. And you can tell this is the back because it looks like it's kind of inside out, and then on the front side you're going to see these chain loops laying nicely. Okay, so I'm going to take my tail that I want to weave in, get a yarn needle or an embroidery needle, one that you can get the yarn through, and I pinch it and push it through. Like everything else, there are many methods to do this. Pull my yarn through there. You find what works best for you. This is my favorite method. So then I'm just going to find places to put my needle to hide this yarn. And once I go through here like this, I'm going under there. I want to go the other direction, so I'm going to put my needle this direction. So now I've brought that tail down this way, now I've gone this way, and then now I'm going to go around this loop here, and I'm going to go back up this direction. By winding it around those different directions and that many times, I'm going to end up with it being really secure. If you've pulled it too tightly, just tug on it a little bit to loosen that so that your stitches look nice. And then once you get it woven in, it depends on the project, but I will go at least 1.5 inches, 2 inches, if maybe longer if it's something that's going to be worn like a sweater, to make sure that those ends don't unravel. Then you just trim it where it comes out and you have no more end, and it's completely done. Same thing on this one where you began. You would take this one, so you can also fold this over the needle like that, pull your needle out and then smush it and put your yarn through. There are other needles that have bigger eyes on them. I use this one for some thinner yarn, so I tend to use it with this thicker one too, and just try to smush it through there. And again, so I'm going to go through different places, but I'm going to go through this direction and pull it. You don't want to pull it too tightly because you don't want anything to pucker. Then you can go back a different direction, and one more time I'm going to go this direction, and I'm going right in between there, so you don't see the needle on the front or the back. That is hidden inside. And there we go. Then I can just trim this off. Did I get close enough? Trim a little bit more maybe. And there my end is nicely woven in. And I don't have a tail to do later on when I get done with my work. It seems to be quicker and better if you'll just do those right away. At the end of a project, it can be kind of overwhelming to have that many. However, I will caution you, if you make a mistake down here and you've already woven in your ends, that can be very difficult to unravel, and then you do have a shorter piece to work back in. So just make sure that you haven't made any mistakes up to that point, and go ahead and weave your ends in if you like.